I think this is just the first down payment on what will be the biggest story in crypto over the last 12 months, which this is a rally on regulation. Look, there's a wave of institutional capital that's woken up and realized it needs exposure to this market. The only thing holding it back is a lack of regulatory clarity. And we got just a tiny dose of that regulatory clarity last week when Gensler said he wasn't going to ban crypto, when the market started to price in a potential Bitcoin ETF approval later this month. And that's unleashed this bull market. But I think it is just a down payment. There's a lot more to come. There's still a huge amount of capital sitting on the sidelines, waiting for that regulatory signal that it's okay to go into the water. And when it does, I think it could be a very strong moment for the crypto markets.
When do you think it does? And I ask that because I realize we're getting more commentary and rhetoric. We're also starting to get more officials nominated to posts within the Biden administration that could have a role in all of this as well. So what does the timeline look like?
Yeah, I wish I could say it's tomorrow. I think this is going to be a year-long story with peaks and troughs. I think, one milepost is a potential Bitcoin ETF approval in the middle of this month. The market will likely price that in ahead of that approval if it thinks it's going to happen. But this regulatory story is going to play out over the next year. What happened last week, which is really important, is that the left tail of potential outcomes got clipped off. I've been on the road recently talking to advisors in cities across America, and their number one concern with crypto is that the government might ban it. Well, we had both Powell and Gensler come out and say, we're not doing that in America. So we removed that possibility, and that's what led to this bull market. But this is a story that has legs. It's going to be the biggest story in crypto, not just this month, but for the next year.
Yeah, and of course, as we start to see all of those details begin to flesh out, do we actually yet know the role of cryptocurrencies in the financial markets? And I ask that because last month, for example, we saw stocks fall and Bitcoin fall in tandem. And then this month, since the start of October, we've seen a decoupling. So just in terms of the perceived correlations of cryptocurrencies with other asset classes, I ask that question because it's going to have a big role to play in regulation.
Oh, it's such a great question, Morgan. I think from an investor perspective, if you look back in time, crypto was a risk asset. It's an early stage risky investment. So no surprise that when the market has a big risk off moment for a short period of time, crypto falls. What we're seeing in the future is crypto penetrating its primary use cases as digital gold, as the financial rails for decentralized finance. And as those use cases get more clear, get more embedded, get more real, get accepted by more investors, you're going to see that counter correlation play out more and more. I think what we hear from Congress these days is people realizing that Bitcoin isn't just a currency. It may not even be primarily a currency. What crypto is about is rewiring the financial system to make it more efficient, to make it cheaper, to make it more inclusive, and people are positioning to allow that boom to occur. I've really positive comments out of Washington over the last few weeks.
Oh, that's interesting. Ken Griffin gave a chat this week at the Economic Club of Chicago. And he said it was a crazy concept that we embrace so many bright, young, talented people to come up with a replacement for our reserve currency. I wish all that passion and energy was directed toward making the U.S. stronger. Sounds like you kind of disagree with his premise.
I do disagree. I don't think crypto is about replacing the U.S. currency. They live side by side. I think the primary thing that crypto is about is rewiring the financial system, allowing money to move at the speed of the internet, allowing $1 billion to move to anyone in the world and settle in 10 minutes, to make the financial system faster. We're hearing a lot about DeFi now. We're hearing a lot about NFTs. I think that comparison to the US dollar is not the right comparison. This is about sort of a fintech play on disrupting the financial ecosystem. We all know it needs disruption. We all know it could serve us better. And I think it's going to be one of the hottest areas of economic growth in America over the next 5 and 10 years.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.